Welcome back to Plus Politics. The leadership of the Labour Party on Sunday said it will support the decision of its Imo State governorship candidate, Arthur Ashonu, to challenge the victory of Governor Hope Uzodinma in court. Ashonu had earlier rejected the result of Saturday's election and demanded cancellation. He told journalists in his Umulomo country home in Eyimembano local government area of the state that the election was fraught with irregularities, vote buying, and physical assaults of party agents. Let's take a listen.
My party members were shouting INEC. INEC, they were scared. They changed, they brought people from different states of this country. And when they came, they were willing to work. But when you see the security agents that are supposed to protect you in a state where they behead people like chicken, doing the bidding of government, what do? You play ball, or they kill you. A state where they bomb their own citizens, a state where they have the tiger base, where innocent people are falling like flies. Go to the mortuary of that state, thousands of dead bodies unclaimed. It's not INEC. Because there was not everything we asked for except the removal of the rec. INEC listened to us, did it. But we are now watching this is the time the chairman will now come and tell us why he didn't stop the collation yesterday. Because you cannot have collation where what you have on the document, the result sheet is different from what you have on your IRF. And he told us, he told the whole country that this time beavers will work. And that beavers will be used for accreditation. 70% of the voting yesterday was done without beavers accreditation. Yet a result was announced.
Joining us live to discuss this, Barrister Ihejirika Emeka, legal advisor, Imo State Labour Party, and spokesman to Senator Arthur Ashonu Campaign Council. Good to have you on Plus Politics, Barrister.
Thank you very much, sir.
Listening to your principle, it almost sounded paradoxical that a man who wants to go to court on the one hand also came out to say the fault was not INEC's because, come to think of it, people were subjected to a form of terror and intimidation. And I'm thinking, okay, where then would he collate, or where then would he garner all the requisite evidences that a court of competent jurisdiction would need to pronounce in his favor?
Well, let us worry about that. Let us worry about how we are going to collate whatever evidence we are going to present at the tribunal. We will worry about that. That will take care of itself. But what happened on Saturday was a daylight robbery. Both the governing APC, both INEC, both the security agencies, all of them, both the DSS, the army, the police, they were together in that scheme. It was a collusion of evil. And, when people want to steal and they're in a hurry to steal, they make so many mistakes. What happened? We thought that with what happened at the presidential election and then at the follow-up election, that, certain lessons would be learned and INEC would have turned a new leaf and the security agencies would have respected themselves. But they did not. Rather, they came and perpetuated what was even worse than what they did at the presidential election and the governorship and state House of Assembly elections. Now, let me give you an example. In so many polling units, where people did not turn up, where you have zero accreditation, Now, when you have zero accreditation, you will now see the number of votes cast will be some 800, some 300, some 100. Go to the IRF portal now and see what is. It was nonsense. And they did it brazenly. They didn't even care. And they brought a man who said he's a professor, who said he's the returning officer. That's what we are saying. That's why when ASU goes on strike, they don't have sympathy of many people. Because if professors, academia, lecturers in the university will be privy and will be used as instruments to rig elections by unscrupulous politicians, then when these politicians owe them salary,
don't you think you are tarnishing the reputation of somebody because of your
No, that's not true. That's not. You see that man who calls himself the returning officer and calls himself a professor. Now listen, we told him, we pointed out some of these things. The law gives INEC the power to review, even to cancel. He said he's only here to collect and declare results. What kind of nonsense is that? So even if the results are flawed, you collect them and you declare them.
Would you not think that if he heeded the agitations of your state collation agent, that could set an untoward precedent for people to just put up some histrionics and melodramatic activities at collation centers such as that and get the process somewhat stalled? Don't you think that in itself too could be a bad precedent?
No, let me give you an example. There's a precedence. In the last governorship election in Abia State, when some other parties wanted to rig the election, and a report came, I think Professor Nnenayoti, the VC of Futo, now, she was the returning officer. It came to her knowledge that something untoward is being planned. Do you know what she did? She suspended collation and looked into it very well. And that is what is expected. There's a precedent. There are so many precedents. There are so many precedents where returning officers suspended collation. Suspended collation. To look at protests, look at petitions.
Can I ask you, what was the percentage of the polling units that your party had agents? Because prior to that election, INEC was emphasizing the fact that, hello?
Sorry, I am at home and
No, don't go ahead.
But no problem, let's go on. My party has agents in virtually every polling unit in Imo State. Virtually every polling unit. Over 4,000 polling units, we have double agents. And in each polling unit, we have 2 people as agents. Labour Party.
And in all the supposedly declared results, the Form EC8 was filled by your agents?
Now, let me tell you, sir. I don't want us to go into these technicalities because some of these things are definitely going to come before the courts. So we don't really want to say 1 or 2 things here. But let me tell you what is happening. The ruling party budgeted 800,000 naira per booth, per polling booth. I want you to verify. Your reporters are on the ground. Let them verify. 800,000 naira per booth, per polling unit. Now, what they did was that there was a lot of vote buying by agents of the APC. They were giving people from 2,000 to 5,000 to vote. When you cast your vote, you use your smartphone to snap it, and then you present it to them, and then they pay you. That was the scheme that was going on. And then they found out that that money cannot buy enough voters or enough votes to win the election. Sorry, my son is in the front.
No, just go ahead.
Go ahead. So they now resorted to collusion with the security agencies to hijack voting materials. Even places like also where elections never took place. Do you know what they did? They declare result. That also local government. I want you to send your reporter on the ground. It has about 11 wards. Do you know? Unknown, that is where the unknown government, their headquarters in the southeast is, also local government in Imo State. They are virtually taking over the place. Now, do you know what they did? They went and declared the result in Osu local government. Another place where the unknown government holds sway is in Okigwe local government. In Okigwe local government, about 6 to 8 local wards there, electoral wards, are under the control of the unknown government. They went and declared result in Okigwe local government. In Olu local government, the same scenario. So when they saw that the money they were paying the voters, vote buying, was not working, do you know what they did? They now resorted to hijacking in collusion with the security agencies. And meanwhile, the presiding officers, the officers that work in the polling unit, they have pre-filled forms. I'm not joking. That's why everybody is shouting. This is the worst election ever conducted in Nigeria.
Let me also ask this question. It's just imperative that one must ask this question. In all this, your party came third.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here now, and I'm thinking, except your party is praying to God and the Supreme Court for a replication of the miracle of Uzodimma in the last governorship elections in Imo State. I wonder how you want to be declared to leap over the first runners up when your party is a very distant third place holder.
They are afraid of Labour Party. Normally in the south here, where Labour Party is popular, what they do is that in every election, be it the House of Assembly election or House of Rep, they normally when they rig election, they normally put Labour Party in the third position. But the people they put in the second position, which is the PDP, today we had a joint press conference by their governorship candidate, Senator Anyanwu, Samuel Anyanwu, and our governorship candidate, Senator Tana Chonu. They had a joint press conference, and there they called for the cancellation of that obnoxious result. So when you look at it, the two parties are cooperating. So what we are saying is that result should not stand. It should be cancelled. Because you cannot tell me that a place where you have zero accreditation, and now you said 800 people voted. Where did the 800 come from? Because there was, let me tell you the truth, there was heavy apathy. Because of what they did in the presidential election and in the follow-up House of Assembly elections, people decided they were not going to vote. Some people even threw away their PVCs.
But if you are certain that Beavers recorded zero accreditation and 800 votes were declared for a particular candidate, you should be rest assured then that should be very easy to prove at the tribunal. Reason being that...
that's why we are eager to go to the tribunal. We're eager to go to the tribunal because there are, in fact, let me tell you, 70% of... they did the elections without accreditation, contrary to the provisions of the Electoral Act. No accreditation was done, and they didn't care about it. They just brazenly, without accreditation, without you just come, they give you something, you vote. And that was why, together with the security agencies, they were able to conquer most of the polling units and then perpetuate what they perpetuated. And let me tell you, now, another problem is that both the heads, the people that sent to oversee in INEC, and the people they were sent to oversee the security here fell in line and worked for the APC. I'm challenge them. DIG Frank Mba, who led the security, and the other commissioners who came from INEC, I challenge them to prove that they did not work with the ruling APC, because.
But you as a lawyer should know that he who asserts must prove. Are you?
Control of the security and all. So if you are a DIG and you are in control of security, and then your men on the ground came and compromised, then what are you telling people? That you are not in it when they are supposed to be a command and control? The person leading the army, the person in control of the soldiers that were sent, the soldiers also aided. So will the person tell me that he does not know what the soldiers are doing? Now, the INEC people, even the EOs, were even the ones who were egging the ones at the wars.
Barrister,
Sir.
I'm listening to you now, and I'm feeling you seem to be democratizing recriminations. Just about every other entity in the value chain were villains.
Totally.
Only the Labour Party people just acted in a very saintly manner.
No. It's not only the Labour Party that is crying today. There were at the joint press conference was the governorship candidates of the Labour Party and the PDP. Then all the coalition officers of Accord, I think, PDP, Labour Party, and two other parties held their own press conference where they analyzed all these things and it revealed to the world what happened. Let me tell you, in so many areas where you have zero accreditation, when you have zero accreditation in a particular polling unit, and then you're having 800 people. And then when Labour Party people protest, do you know what? You've seen the video of how they beat up the state chairman of the Labour Party, who also is our state coalition officer. They beat him to a pulp. That is just, you heard of this one because it happened in the full glare of the international and national press, including Plus.
Did you just say
at the state INEC headquarters?
Did you just say?
Let me tell you, they beat our people. They heavily in the wards, in the polling units. They messed our people up. They locked up some. In fact, they used thugs, security agents, to manhandle our people. I don't know if you don't have this video. I will send it to your site anywhere of a policeman attached to an APC politician who came to carry ballot box, and the policeman, the youths resisted and manhandled him. You've seen the video. That was at Amakoya, I think in Mbitolu LGA.
And what's the way forward now, Barrister?
Well, the way forward is that we are giving them the chance now to do the right thing, which is to cancel this, review it and cancel it. That's one. If that can be possible, then I think even the returning officer say we should go to court. We are going to court.
But there is a seven-day.
What is really? Sorry, sir.
There is a 7-day window for review, I guess. Are you making a case for that?
Sir, see, what is really emboldening them is that they feel that at the end they would go on top and work with the judiciary to stamp whatever thing that has happened. Yeah, but we still believe that not every judge can be intimidated or can be corrupted. There are still judges who will stand their ground and say, no, for posterity's sake, for the sake of my family, I will not do that. There are still judges who want democracy to survive in this country. There are still judges who will do the right thing. I know what they go to court is that, go to court. After all, we will still meet you in court, and we have a way of dealing with the judiciary, and they will give us judgment. Okay, we are still waiting for them. But let me tell you how all these things what they are bringing about they are going to bring about chaos in this country. At a particular point, nobody will go for any election again. There won't be any campaigning. What it will amount is that in every election, people will go and hire armed militia. And there will be, election now will be war. Because if you want to play it according to the democratic tenets, you don't
think that this could be misconstrued to be either soursop or you are just somewhat
frustrated. Let me give you an
just somewhat frustrated and
I'm being realistic, sir. When the security agencies, the thugs, and every other person are working together, going from polling unit to polling unit, beating up agents of the party or parties that object to the rigging of elections. So what do you think in the next election? Who will waste their time campaigning? Nobody will waste their time campaigning. Everybody will stuff money and wait for the election day. One, they will use the money to hire militia. Two, they will use the money to buy votes. Because you, at a point, when the security agencies are not protecting you, they are not protecting your vote, you won't be a fool now in the next election. In the next election, you also try to protect yourself. Since the law of the land, the agencies that implement the law of the land cannot protect you, then you try and protect yourself by whatever means you can.
Barrister Ejirika Emeka, I really heartily wish you and your party all the best.
Yes, thank you, sir. And we are telling Nigerians that in due course, we are going to expose the tragedy that happened in Imo State last Saturday.
Wish you all the best.
God willing, inshallah, we are going to collect our mandate back from the courts.
Wish you all the best from such from that endeavor. All the best. Thank you very much for guesting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.